Hello and welcome to this week's staff brief. I'm Paul Robinson, I'm the Chief Executive at Sherwood, and with me today I've got David Ainsworth, our Director of Strategy and Partnerships, and Debbie Kearsley, our Deputy Director of People, and David and Debbie will be talking to us about the exciting new Community Diagnostic Centre down at Mansfield Community Hospital. I've also got Amy Gouldstone, our People Wellbeing Lead, and Amy will be giving us a further update on Fresh Start for January. And lastly, but not least, we've got Jenifer Lee, and Jen is our Deputy Chief Financial Officer, and Jen will be updating us on the Finance Excellence Awards. And just before we dive into Community Diagnostic Centre, I've got a few general updates. Also, don't forget to use the chat function. If you've got any questions as we go through, we'll address the questions as much as we can, as quickly as we can as we go through today's brief. So firstly, just want to cover off last week's fantastic event, NHS Careers event that was a huge success. So we had a step into the NHS Careers event up at West Notts College. It was attended by over 650 people. So that's how much of a success it was. And it was organised by ourselves, West Notts College and Nottingham Trent University, and showcased the wide range of opportunities that we've got here at the Trust and also across the NHS. And attendees of the event could find out about the various career paths, apprenticeship opportunities, and how to enrol in the university's Mansfield-based campus. And we had interactive displays by many of our teams, our operating theatres, our paediatric and maternity teams, and also it was well attended by dietetics, physiotherapy, orthotic and ophthalmology departments, and as well as the medical and nursing roles, there were lots of information on roles within research, HR, IT, finance, customer service and admin, and amongst many more. It was also attended by teachers from the college, and they provided a range advice on apprenticeships, health and social care courses, and the Access to Nursing programme. The adult and community team were also there, as well as the electrical, plumbing and joinery teachers, and they were there for individuals considering working within estates and facilities. So we had all the career paths that we have here at Sherwood on offer. So thank you to everyone who took part. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes who made it a success. For all those that came along on the evening to support the event, huge success. It got good coverage across TV and radio, and we hope to work more closely in the future with our partners at NTU and West Notts College. Secondly, pulse survey. So our quarterly pulse survey is now open, and this runs alongside our annual NHS staff survey. But the annual NHS staff survey, the large staff survey, runs sort of the back end of the calendar year, so in quarter 3 of each financial year. But we also run in the other 3 quarters the national quarterly pulse surveys, and these are much shorter with just 10 questions, and this helps us monitor feeling across the organisation a little bit more regularly, giving a more accurate view of how you feel all year round. And you should have received an email inviting you to complete this quarter survey. Please check your junk folders, as sometimes it can get into those. It actually will be sent to your email address that was attached to your ESR account. So that could be your personal email address. It could be your nhs.net address. And as I said, it could be even in your junk folder of either of those. So check all those, please. It only takes a couple of minutes to answer the questions, and it helps monitor your feelings and helps us to know where to make changes, whether necessary or what's working well, so we can keep the same. So if you've not received your email, please contact the OD team, and they can be contacted at the email address sfh-tr.odinquiries@nhs.net. And I'm hoping that Jess is going to post that in the chat, so you don't have to remember what I just said. And the survey is open until the end of January. So next Tuesday, the 31st of January, is when the survey closes. All responses are entirely anonymous. And if you're wondering when we're going to see the results of the national staff survey that you completed in January, that's in, I think the results of that will be published in the next month or so. So next item is industrial action, and this time teacher strikes. So last week, the National Education Union announced a number of planned strikes in response to ongoing pay disputes with the government. And whilst this is not directly related to us at Sherwood or indeed the NHS, we know the action will impact on many of you with children in primary schools, secondary schools, and indeed some sixth form colleges, which all could see some full or probably partial closures. So whatever happens, we're committed to continue to support you, and we understand the impact this action is likely to have on many people working on our sites here at Sherwood. And where schools continue to be open and operate as normal, colleagues are expected to continue to work as they normally would. And where we need to make alternative arrangements, colleagues should discuss possible options with line managers and supervisors, and this can include a wide range of things. So where your roles allow, it could include working from home, it could be taking annual leave or time off in lieu, swapping shifts with other colleagues, agreeing to work back the time at a later date, or for last minute in emergency situations, making use of the carers leave policy. So please see the Trust guidance document for more information, and all details surrounding industrial action can be found on the intranet page that we've set up for that. Lastly, staff brief. Each week we continue to encourage everyone to have and take up flu and COVID vaccinations. As you know, we've made it even easier than ever, so a vaccination team are now able to attend your ward and department. Just call extension 3780 and a nurse from the occupational team will be available to come to your department on the dates available, and they should be on screen right now. So call 3780 and arrange for that to happen. Alternatively, the vaccination hub remains open for walk-ins for both flu and COVID vaccinations, and you'll just have to bring your staff ID badge along with you for your appointment to confirm your eligibility. It's open to all members of staff. With regards to flu, so far 63% of our frontline colleagues have had the vaccination, so thank you to everyone. And a reminder that we have a divisional competition which runs until the end of February. At the moment, the medicine division are in the lead with nearly 6% of that division vaccinated. So well done. So if you want to catch them up, get your vaccination booked in before the end of February, and the winning division on that date will receive a gleaming trophy, but just as importantly, £500 of gift vouchers. So you've got until the end of February to get vaccinated and be part of the winning division. Okay, so that's the end of my updates. As I said before, please just a bit of a reminder to use the chat function if you've got any questions on anything we're discussing today or any topics that you would like to explore. Without further ado, I'll turn to David and Debbie, who are going to talk to us about the exciting community diagnostic hub. Saw the news over the last week or so, and David and Debbie have got a little bit more details for us. So over to you, David.
Lovely, thanks very much, Paul, and afternoon, colleagues. Thanks very much for joining us. Really nice to be here with you. And yeah, as Paul said, we're here to talk about the Community Diagnostic Centre. And you may have seen in the media, as Paul said, we announced our intention to submit planning applications for a new building. So that was what the local media was all about. So if you just go for next slide, please. So here's a few of the media outlets that you'll have seen the story ran in. So next slide, please. What we're looking at building is something that looks a little bit like this. So really exciting. It's a brand new build, and we have informally been given approval to go ahead with our plans. We are still waiting final ministerial approval on the funding, but quite frankly, we are ploughing ahead. And by that, I mean we've submitted already plans to the district council in order for us to start the building works that you'd expect us to start with such a building. It's hits all the green agenda, so we're looking for a wooden frame, a zero carbon build. That's all being part of the programme and really important aspect to us as we start to introduce this design. I think there'll be solar panels on the roof and the like, so really important that we've got that green agenda built front and centre into the outset of this programme. Next slide please, Jess. So briefly what we're going to cover in the next 5 to 10 minutes is a bit more detail on our plans, what we think the benefit for patients are. We'll hear from Debbie about the jobs that this will create and your chance to get involved. So just briefly put, what is a community diagnostic centre? It is in essence one place where we bring together lots of extra capacity to deliver diagnostic tests for patients. So it will have radiology in there, so CT, MRI, X-ray, ultrasound. There will be an endoscopy suite in there. There will be cardiorespiratory, so heart and lung diagnostic tests, and then it'll go even further. So there'll be point of care testing where you can have a finger prick blood test and get the results quite quickly there and then. There'll be an andrology service and a phlebotomy service. So again, people who want their GP blood test doing will be able to go to Mansfield Community for those to be done in the future. Why does all that matter? Well, we know without doubt the quicker that you have a diagnostic test, the quicker you get a result. And if you're on a 2-week wait cancer pathway and we can prove that it's not cancer, that's great for your own well-being, of course. But if it is cancer and we can catch that diagnosis much earlier, the evidence would suggest that your outcomes are far more likely to be greater. And obviously the earlier we know, the quicker we can start treatment along the pathway. So it's a really positive move for the local area. We are expecting ministerial approval to go ahead. It will be an investment of in and around £20 million for the area. That will create over 160 jobs, and Debbie will talk to us about that next. So Debbie, do you want to talk a bit for me about the workforce? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks David, and good afternoon everybody. I hope everybody's well today. So as David says, this is an exciting opportunity for Sherwood Forest hospitals, and developing a build and services such as this demands a workforce, and we've been undertaking some initial modelling to look what that workforce will look like, and this will be a combination of both clinical and non-clinical workforce, and workforce that is registered professionals as well. And so what the modelling shows us at the moment is we anticipate that we'll be wanting to recruit to in the region of 160 to 200 whole-time equivalents, and this will be the whole broad range of occupations and professions, as David has outlined and as I've outlined. And so this growth will look for us to develop new roles, and also expanding those roles within the diagnostic services. So what we're working with is a number of teams throughout the organisation to look at what does that workforce look like, how can we support our current workforce through talent management, succession planning, in terms of supporting the community diagnostic centre, but also looking at what we need to do in terms of that recruitment. And the recruitment event that happened last week was a prime example of how we can liaise with our education partners and stakeholders to look at the workforce for the future, because we do know some of the roles that will be required for the CDC, such as sonographers, are quite hard to fill, and so early engagement with our local education providers, like the recruitment event we had last week, really showcases us, but also enables us to look at our workforce for the future. So we are developing those plans for the longer term, and looking at going out to recruitment within the next couple of weeks, months, in terms of getting staff into the organisation and upskilling them for when the CDC comes online. And we're working with our operational colleagues to look at what the phasing of that is to ensure that we have the right skill mix of our to deliver those services. And we'll also be looking to utilise the apprenticeship levy and other funding streams to develop our existing workforce, but also to develop our new workforce. So really exciting times ahead in terms of our workforce, and really want to engage with our workforce as well in terms of how we can develop individuals and succession plan and talent support our talent within our existing workforce. Thanks, David.
Lovely. Thanks, Debbie. So just to round off, you can see there's a slide on screen in a moment around some of the things that are coming up. There are some key things that we're trying to do. So first of all, we've submitted our planning application to build. We've also submitted our demolition because we'll need to demolish part of the old building as well, and that's taken us into thinking about things like the heritage of the site and paying due respect to what we lose. So that's all being considered with our partners in the district council. And then you'll see on the list in front of you, there's a whole load of things that we expect to happen around the attraction of staff, but also the first spade in the ground and the like. So I think it's fair to say you can expect to see regular and timely updates, both within the trust and also in the local media. And the final slide really is just to say this Thursday, if this has lit your fire and interest and it's something you'd like to go and talk more about and hear from the people that are leading this work, we'll have people like Amanda Barrett, who's the project manager, and Kim Kirk from the division, and James Thomas, who's the lead consultant for this. They will all be at Mansfield on this Thursday between 11 AM and 7 PM. So if you'd like to go and find more about this and speak to the people that are leading this, then please do make every effort to attend and give your feedback, both in terms of members of staff and colleagues here at Sherwood, but also local residents in the area. Your feedback will be invaluable. And finally, a big shout out and thank you to all the divisions that are supporting the design of this, because it simply is a real team effort to get the right pathways, the right architecture design, and the right services for patients in our local area. So a massive piece of work, but really exciting and really good investment for this patch. Thank you very much, Paul. I'll hand back to you. We're on any other questions slide. Thanks.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Debbie. As I described it as exciting. I jotted a few reasons why it's exciting as you were talking. So, brand new build, environmentally friendly, employment opportunities for 160 local people, and more tests and earlier diagnosis for patients. Couldn't be more exciting than that in a £20 million investment into the area. It's fantastic. So if you want to know more about it, or it's a public event on Thursday, isn't it? So if your family and friends want to know more about it, also between 11 AM and 7 PM at Mansfield Community Hospital on Thursday. Thank you. Thanks very much for that. No doubt we'll be getting updates as we move until opening in autumn 2024. So not long to go, David. So pressure already on, I think there. So that feels like only 18 months away.
Yeah. So clock's ticking.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, David and Debbie, for that. So I'll move on to Amy. So it's January. So we're back on. You're back here again. Fresh start for January. What we got planned for today, Amy?
Thanks, Paul. And thanks everyone for having me. So if you haven't met me before, I'm Amy Gouldstone, People Wellbeing Lead here at Sherwood Forest. I've been on here quite a bit now. I feel like a regular member. So it is fresh start to January. So I've got a few photos to share with you of what is actually going on as we speak at Kingsmill and what we have planned for Thursday over at Newark Hospital as well. So really just to encourage you, if you can, take 10 minutes away. We are upon today, if you're at Kingsmill Hospital, level 6. there are health checks. There's an exercise bike which we're trying to clock as many miles as possible to see how far we can go. So any contributions welcome from anybody on the mileage. If you do a few miles on the bike, or even a few minutes on the bike, I should say, you're entered into a prize draw as well. So it's a staff only prize draw for, I believe there is a slow cooker to be won, amongst a few other prizes. You can have your health check done, your weight, your height and BMI as well. And then there's some leisure providers, Everyone Active and Mansfield Leisure are there as well if you want to, interested in those. So really just to let you know the dates of those. The next slide's got these on. So I say Kingsmill, our session is today until 2 o'clock. And also between 1 and 2 o'clock today as well, we've got a walk and talk with Dave Selwyn, our medical director, as well. So we're hoping the rain is going to stay off. It's going to be cold, so bring your bubble hat if you've got one, if you're joining us for that at 1 o'clock today as well. A couple of other bits as well. Friday, we've got another walk and talk with Rachel Eddy, our Chief Operating Officer, meeting at Kingsmill. I'm saying if you're at Kingsmill Hospital, with that one to meet by the post box, because I've realised the Kingsmill main entrance is very big when you're trying to meet for a small walk and talk. So yeah, any walks are from the Kingsmill main entrance. And also, if you fancy it outside of work, of course, on Sunday this week, between 10:30 and 12, they're going to dig over the veg plot. So if anyone has got any green fingers that they can lend to this. My fingers are not very green, I have to add, but Helena Clements is leading sort of our staff dig and our staff vegetable plot garden at Kingsmill Hospital. At Newark, dates-wise as well, so like I say, this Thursday we have a similar setup to the photos that you saw at the start. Between 10 and 2 we'll be in the boardroom at Newark. We should all be well have a bike as well, doing exactly the same health checks. And I'll be there for most of that, apart from between 10 and 11, which I'll be out for the walk and talk with Shirley Higginbottom, corporate. I always get Director of Corporate Affairs. We say that the wrong way around. So yeah, Shirley and I'll be out for a walk and talk around Newark, all being well as well. So again, woolly hats, gloves, coats, comfortable shoes. We'll be out for around half an hour walk or so, although we've kind of left an hour window for kind of gathering and getting together at Newark Hospital. So yeah, any questions are more than welcome. I've put the wellbeing inbox on there if you want to email me outside of this. But thank you. I have to say a massive thank you actually to our partners that have made this happen. Your Health Your Way, Mansfield Leisure, Everyone Active, across lots of the Climate Action team, wellbeing champions, particularly over at Newark. A big shout out to Catherine Martell, our wellbeing champion over there, has really made the Newark event happen as well. So yeah, big thank you, and join us if you can. Cool.
Fantastic, thank you. So lots going on this week in the last sort of week of January, as you can see. Please pop along, get your health check. I got mine done last time around. Got that. Yeah, you know what I need to do. I'm working on my BMI and my blood pressure now, so thinking about that and my diet as well. So that's great. Thank you for that, Amy. Please take part in the walk and talks if you're able to do that, especially, you know, it might be a little bit chilly, but it's such a lovely day out there today, and such a really great opportunity to have those informal chats along the way with it's Dave Selwyn today, and then it's Shirley and later on in the week at Newark. So I really encourage you to do that, and to use the sort of walk and talk for any sort of informal meetings or meetings that you can possibly do that with your colleagues. I think it's a great way to get some fresh air and get to know people as well. So thank you for that, Amy. Okay, so Jen, welcome, Jen. This is the first time I think you've been on Staff Brief, so we'll be gentle with you, I'm sure. And you're here to talk to us about the Finance Excellence Awards.
I am, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, it is the first time I've been on Staff Brief. So hello, and to everybody out there. So I'm Jen Leah. I'm the Deputy Chief Financial Officer, and I'm really thrilled to be able to talk to you about the launch of the Finance Excellence Awards. It is the first time that we've launched these awards, and they close on the 10th of February. So why are we launching the awards? Obviously, our cost to heat and light our homes and keep our cars running, as we all know, is becoming more and more challenged, and that doesn't stop with running our services and running our hospital as well. So what we're looking for is to be able to share ideas and to be able to celebrate really great practice of where we've got ideas and inspiration to how we can manage our costs to run our services whilst also continuing to deliver the outstanding care that we do, and to make sure that we can say thank you to all of you that are going above and beyond and coming up with those great ideas, whether that's making sure lights are turned out, or making sure that we've got schemes to keep our agency costs low, or whatever it is that's happening out there. We want to know about it. We want to share those ideas and share that great practice across the whole organisation. So what are the awards then? What are we launching? There are 8 awards that we are looking to launch. 4 of them are specifically for non-finance team members. So we're looking for people that do not work in part of the finance team, who are out there delivering great care or delivering their great work, whilst also having that consideration for how much it costs to run the organisation. So those awards are around our non-finance advocate, where we're looking for colleagues that are championing our financial drivers and objectives and working hard to help us achieve them. We're looking for rising stars out there who are maybe new to the organisation or up and coming, who are emerging talent and demonstrating an ability to go above and beyond to help us become financially sustainable as an organisation. We're looking for innovations and ideas and great practice that we can share across the trust. So if you've got any great work that you're doing where you are, we want to know about it and to share that. And then the 4th of the non-finance awards is around colleagues who are going above and beyond and going that extra mile to help the organisation to achieve financial sustainability. There's then also 4 other awards where we are welcoming nominations from anyone across the organisation, but they are specifically for where we are sharing great practice from within the finance team as well, where we've got examples of the team supporting you as individuals and as a trust. And it's important to remember sort of who we're referring to when we're talking about those people. So that includes all of the teams that support out in the divisional triumvirates. It's the teams that are helping us pay our invoices and keep our expenditure flowing. But it's also around our pay and pensions team as well. They are a valuable part of our finance team. So if you've got any examples of where you as an individual have had some great service, we want to know about that as well. So final bit from me is around how to nominate. So it's great me talking about these awards. How do you take part and make a nomination? So there should hopefully be a link that's going out from the comms team very soon into the chat. There's also available on the intranet a nomination form that details all 8 of those awards and what we're looking for in terms of categories for nomination. Please have a look at that, download it, have a think about what's going on in your area, and submit that nomination through to us for the 10th of February. We are keeping the judging of those nominations fair, and they are taking place. I've asked a number of people from across the trust to support us with those shortlists. So hopefully we can get some really good ideas and get some information sharing. So thank you all, and I look forward to receiving lots of nominations. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Jen. So really important topic here, and we got Jen, because certainly there are financial constraints that we have in place now, and that they're going to get tighter. The whole country's financial constraints are getting tighter and tighter, and it's no different at work than at home, really. The simple message is we need to make our money go further. We do that. We all have got a responsibility to do that. Here while we're on site and working within the trust as well. So really good if we can identify those people that work hard to identify those opportunities to make our precious resources go further. And we're really good if you could nominate people to be in receipt of these awards, so we can recognise that. I noticed that Jess has posted the intranet, a link to the intranet page, so please click on that, or go to the intranet and you can find that as you need to. I know that just going back to something else in the chat, that Jess also has published the link to the pulse survey email if you're struggling to find that email in your junk, and the industrial action intranet link is also there. So I think we've got all that covered. Really think about who you can champion, who you can nominate in order to recognise where we've been making the most of our resources and achieving finance excellence. So that would be great. So thank you for that, Jen. Thanks for making us aware of that. I think they're new awards. I've not seen those before. So this is the inaugural year. So everyone winning will be inaugural winners. So something to think about there, and really put people forward who've been making the most of our resource, making our money go further. So thank you for that. Encourage everyone joining us today to send us any questions if you have any. We have had one that David has already answered, and that was around there's a couple of questions. There was are there any other diagnostic centres around the country? So David's answered this, but I'll pick it up for if anyone hasn't seen it. So we're part of we're really pleased to be part of the initial wave of a national programme of community diagnostic centres across the country, and so we're really pleased to be in the first wave of that. But others will be announced as we go through the next year or so. And the second question was around if there are any apprenticeship opportunities for sonographer job roles in the new diagnostic centre, and we're exploring this. Please contact Debbie Kearsley if you've got a specific interest in taking up one of these roles, and we can sort of work with you to see whether we can make that real. Okay, great, thank you. Can't see other questions, and every week when I say that and I start to wrap up, a couple of questions pop in. So I'm going to leave a little space for that now by just thanking David, Debbie, Amy and Jen for joining us today. For lots of things that are exciting, new, and ways we can help ourselves and our health and well-being. So it's been a really good half hour. I've given a little bit of time there just for any questions that might pop in at the last minute, and none have, so I'll wrap up there and say thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll see you again next Tuesday for staff brief. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.